This is the Optimal Wellness Podcast, helping you achieve optimal wellness naturally, with your host, Dr. Clifford Fetters of Health and Wellness of Carmel.
All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 3. This episode is going to be a real snooze fest. Sorry, I had to do that. We're talking about sleep, and fatigue is one of the major things that our patients talk about suffering from. So what better way to get into it but talk about sleep? So just to start on basic idea, what is the purpose of having good sleep? Like, why does that serve us in any way?
It restores our body. To be healthy, you have to sleep. Every organ system is affected by insomnia. Your mood, your sense of well-being, how you function in life. If you're irritable or you're tired, it's often due to sleep. So sleep disturbance is probably the most common thing we see. Okay. Every person that comes in our template that every nurse, every time a patient walks in front of me, there are certain questions. How's your energy? How's your sleep? That's one of the top 5 things we ask every patient, every single visit. I just assume this. I've been asked for a long time. When I go to bed, I'm asleep within 10 minutes. I sleep through the night. I wake up refreshed. Sometimes it's normal to be kind of a depressed mood when it's time to go to bed, but when you wake up, you should feel good. You're ready to conquer the day. Your energy, your mood, your sense of well-being should be ready to go. It should be the best time of the day is when you wake up in the morning. Your adrenals are kicking in. Your adrenals, when we eat at 6 o'clock in the morning, my heart's pounding. It's like, okay, I can't stay in bed. On the weekend, I can't sleep in. My brain is activated for my adrenals. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And I think a good thing to bring up is, especially in the holistic world, and we'll talk more about this, is I had an adrenal tumor, so I had to have my right adrenal gland removed. And no one in traditional medicine told me anything. They're like, oh, you'll be fine. And not even you'll be fine. Just like, okay, get out of here. It was like, so I'm like, I knew nothing about cortisol. I knew nothing about your adrenal stress, anything like that, until I decided to do the research holistically. And that's when you spoke to me about it and other people spoke to me about it, because they just don't talk about that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So let's just get into sleep disturbances. Things like, I know we'll go over probably like narcolepsy, restless leg, things like that. How are they treated traditionally, and how are we treated holistically?
Sure. Yeah, traditionally, they will talk about your environment. You have to have a quiet environment. It has to be dark, preferably cool. Women always fight their husbands on this, but probably 65 to 70 degrees, probably 70 is the warmest it should be in your room. Quiet, dark, peaceful. EMF, we talk about EMFs a lot. I sleep on a grounding mat, and I have really low EMF. Sometimes when I travel to a hotel, that's an issue because I can feel the negative electricity, which is really, really bad for people. Electromagnetic frequencies. Every electronic device has electricity. Electricity's, how can my cell phone work in my car? Well, those frequencies are going through metal, they go through buildings, go through cement, and it activates your nervous system. The more activated your nervous system is, the less you're going to be relaxed, be in the parasympathetic state, and less like you're going to be able to sleep.
And that's why people say, get off your phone, like an hour or two?
Preferably, for sure.
So I think one most common thing people think they have, but they might have something else, is insomnia. Can you talk a little bit about that and what causes that?
Right. So insomnia is either you have problems falling asleep, you wake up in the middle of the night, or you just don't feel rested. So you're asking the root cause?
Yeah, and if it's all insomnia, or if it could be a number of different things.
Of all the different sleep disorders we'll talk about, the root cause is very similar and the treatment is very similar. Everyone needs to do just the basics. Okay, so the basics is make sure your diet, you can't eat foods that are activating. Caffeine, nicotine is activating. Too much sugar. As you know, we talked about cortisol. What does cortisol do? So sugar brings out a cortisol response, an insulin response, which crashes your sugar, which makes you wake up in the night. So the more fat and protein you eat with dinner, the more your blood will be stable throughout the night. So if you don't have stable blood sugar at night, then that's a very common cause of not falling asleep or waking up. Everyone's heard about antihistamines. We don't like antihistamines because they're bad for their brain, that they're anticholinergic. So if you can just take vitamin C a couple hours before you go to bed. That lowers histamine levels, and that helps you sleep through the night.
Wow, that's good to know. And I think most people think if they're going to have something sugary, they should have dessert with dinner or something. And I guess I know you're going to say no sugar at all, but you're saying it should probably be earlier in the day.
Yeah, or be like the Europeans. Their sugar dessert is probably 50 calories. The average American dessert is probably 500 calories of sugar, and that makes a big difference. It's all in being rational proportions.
Yeah. So what are some other common sleep disorders that people suffer from?
Yeah, sleep apnea. Yeah. Very, very common. It's an epidemic in this country. There's both central and obstructive. Both respond to getting rid of the other things that activate your brain. And we always talk about heavy metals. Lead and mercury, aluminum, antimony are all active to the brain. So if people do everything right and they can't sleep, they have high metals. Get rid of the metals and the toxins, and usually the sleep is back to normal.
Okay, I know, and I think too what's so difficult is we've gotten so skewed to a point where we don't even know what bad sleep is. I think I sleep pretty well. I have 2 children under 2, but I still get up and have to go to the bathroom, or I'll wake up in kind of a panic state for a little bit. It's like I think everybody's like, okay, well, I get 6 to 8 hours, but I think we've gotten to a place where we're so skewed. So what would you say is a good night's sleep? Are you sleeping soundly all 8 hours, or?
Right. It is okay to wake up after 3 hours. A sleep cycle is 3 hours. If you wake up within 5 minutes, you go back to bed, that's normal. Okay. The average person, 7 hours is considered ideal. Some people need more or less, and some people just need a little bit, but that's rare.
Okay.
But 7 is the average, and some people need 8. If you really need more than 8 hours of sleep, there's something wrong with your adrenals, one of your organ systems out of balance, and usually it's a hormone imbalance. We also forgot about non-heavy metal toxins, PBA and glyphosate and pesticides. That's why the organic diet is so important. I'm super clean like you, so if I eat out with my friends and I don't eat anything organic, and my brain is like buzzing. I literally can hear noise. You feel, my brain is activated. It's like. And same thing, if I try to do this, but if I go on a binge and just, running through my Instagram, it's like same thing, my brain's buzzing. It's like, oh, why did I do that? Blue blocker glasses really work. I mean, after dinner, if I use those, it's amazing how much better that feels. And if you have to go on your phone, wear the blue blockers before you look at your phone.
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot.
So why is scrolling through your phone, why is that activating your brain so much in that way?
Yeah, well, just the light and the movement and the energy and the electricity. And, your brain, think about primitive man. When did man ever do this?
Sure, yeah.
It's just our brain is not wired to process countless things moving with all this electricity and light, and it's just not normal for our brain to process all that.
And not just going to bed. I heard this on another podcast, but he talks about when you wake up in the morning, how dangerous that is for just your level in the morning, because you wouldn't let 1,000 people into your room in the morning. Right, so why do you do it to your brain?
Right. Yeah. You want to ground your brain in the morning when you wake up. And a routine, we didn't talk about that. Yeah. A consistent routine, getting up the same time, doing the same activities. And most importantly, restorative sleep almost all occurs before midnight. So the night owls, that's an issue. Oh, and we didn't talk about that. I know we love the people that work second and third shift. I understand some people have to do that. But all-cause morbidity and mortality is dramatically increased for shift workers. So young people, as a doctor in residency, I did that for 1 or 2 years, but long-term, it is absolutely horrible for your body to do shift work. Your body has a rhythm. There's a rhythm when you wake up, and it's we are connected to Mother Earth, and Mother Earth brings out the sun to wake us up, and the sun goes down to put us to bed. And so when the sun goes down, that's the time that our work should be done. And it should be then we're having fun. We're with family, we're kumbaya, quiet, peaceful. That's so important. And so if we're in tune with Mother Nature, our circadian rhythms are in tune, and we sleep, we feel better, our mood, everything is better when we work with Mother Nature rather than against her.
Yeah. So as a shift worker, and I'm sure we'll get more into supplements and things like that later. So, what can you do to support your health if you are working that shift?
Well, same, the routine. Yeah. Make sure when you go to work, hopefully you can eat at work, 3 hours before you're supposed to go to bed. So usually when you come home, you go to bed immediately and just have the environment. Everything is turned off because as a woman, you have to have blackout shades. Everyone in your family needs to know that. Your phones need to be away. Nothing's going to distract you. Sometimes people need to take something simple like melatonin to help them get to sleep at night because, then they want to live a normal life during the time they're not working. But try not to shift from totally this time to the other time. I mean, so if you work at night, so then hang out with your friends more in the evening rather than first thing in the morning. Just try and get a routine that you're with your friends. You have to be 8 hours with your friends most of the time. So just try and keep the routine as stable as possible.
Yeah. I saw somewhere, and you probably already know this, but with daylight savings coming or springing forward, I've seen that heart attacks actually when daylight savings, when you fall back and spring forward, and I'm assuming it's because of your rhythm.
Yeah, your circadian, right? Because the earth, that you're in tune with Mother Earth and you're used to doing things. But if I get up usually before the sun, about the time the sun comes up anyway, so it's not a big deal. I have blackout shades, and I just don't change my routine. So it works pretty well for me because I do everything else right. But if you're, if it could be the straw that breaks the camel's back,
Sure.
You drink alcohol, you do all this other stuff that's not good for you. I want to mention alcohol too.
Yes.
It's the best thing about the smartphones that monitor your sleep. And my patients tell me that when they drink alcohol, they have no REM sleep.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
And so I have so many young people that said, I stopped drinking because when I look at my sleep, it just makes me sick how bad it is. And I realize that I do correlate now. When I drink, I just don't sleep well and I feel terrible the next day.
Yeah. And I've seen where even like 2 drinks can totally impact your sleep. So
to the OCD person you're talking to, it's like, one drink is probably okay most of the time. And and for women, as you know, the more alcohol drinks you have, the increase. It's a linear relationship for breast cancer. Interestingly, when I was in residency, it was 3 drinks, and then 2, and then 1, and now they're saying even 1 alcohol drink a day for women actually lowers their immunity and increased risk of breast cancer.
yeah.
So I think that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. I think you guys have so many more toxins in your body, so much more stress that I just think every little piece makes a difference for women and their health.
Yeah. Okay. So for someone who doesn't understand that, why do women have so many more toxins than men?
Your makeup, believe it or not. So we would admit it's like number 1 is what we eat, but number 2 on women is their makeup. Yeah, and parabens is one of the top things for insomnia. You know what? Infrared saunas pours out toxins, heavy metals, and the parabens. Even though there's some longer lasting ones, and you just have to be organic. From makeup to hair products to everything you put in your skin gets absorbed into your skin. And the water, the whole house water filters are so much less expensive. So I have one on my place. So I really, and women take long hot showers. Plus boys were in and out, and 2 minutes. But when you have that hot shower, you get rid of all the oils, and then you're opening up the pores, and you're just sucking those poisons in. Yeah. So long hot showers is not your friend, but that's inspires you to get a whole body or a whole home filter system.
I've seen ones you can even screw onto your sink.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the good news is health and wellness is a thing now. So you can get anything for anything in your home, and it's a reasonable cost.
Yeah. So another thing, just to go back to alcohol, because I think we know how awful it is. Most people know how awful it is, but I think it's become so normalized in our community. So you're obviously going to say no alcohol, but I think as far as sleep is involved, if someone's going to drink, or is it the same as coffee or anything else, nicotine, it's better to do it. If you're going to do it, you should do it early in the day, mostly.
Yeah, and also just the amount and the quality. Unfortunately, most alcohols come from grain. And grains are genetically modified full of Roundup and other industrial pollutants, and organic alcohol is the thing too.
Yeah.
So that's $1 billion industry right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So less is better.
This is just for any new moms out there, and new parents, not just moms, but what do you suggest? Is it the same as shift workers? Because you're not going to get any sleep. You have children, you understand. And I did my best with, magnesium, taking a probiotic, my normal things. But is there anything for people that are just in that really hard stage of life? Is it just survival mode?
Yeah. And, there's many supplements that help you. Be careful if you are pregnant, talk to your doctor about that. But, controlling blood sugar is so important. So phosphatidylserine is amazing controlling blood sugar. Inositol, people forget about inositol. It balances your neurochemicals. It's super safe, super inexpensive. Melatonin. And people, it put me to sleep. Okay, then take 1/2 of a milligram. Oh, it doesn't work. Well, take 30 milligrams.
Yeah.
We use up to 100 milligrams, even more for cancer patients, and it's one of the most powerful antioxidants.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't use, the proper dose.
Yeah. So we talked a lot actually about different lifestyle things that impact your sleep. So we talked about we didn't talk too much about caffeine. So that's something you want to get into, but alcohol, nicotine, things like that.
Exercise. For all those ADD people, if I have to exercise at least every other day. Otherwise, I have so much energy. I will just have to get up at midnight and I will exercise.
Yeah.
Because, it just calms you. I think exercise is critical. Diet, not skipping meals. Because if your blood sugar crashes at night, you're not going to feel good. Well, if you didn't have enough calories during the day, your brain's going to sense that and you're going to crash your blood sugar. So diet, exercise, good routine, and just being at peace. Young people think they have to conquer the world overnight and just overscheduling things. And write things down. Have a list, have a schedule, feel like you accomplished something during the day, and at night, those people, the OCD people, as long as you have your list, now we have our computers, but we write a list of everything you want to do tomorrow so you can sleep. Otherwise, people, I'm going to have to do this and this and this tomorrow. Well, if it's all written down, and now we all have smartphones, so hopefully everyone's committed, dedicated to just write everything down on their calendar.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
That's a great idea because, again, I think social media brings so much pressure of like, I should be doing more during my day. And, a lot of us maybe not because you'd be so exhausted. But exercise. I always sleep so much better when I get exercise, no matter what kind. And just being in the sunlight, I've read too, is so important for your sleep. So if you're having trouble sleeping, and you want to go see your traditional doctor, what is that experience going to be like in that room as opposed to coming here and treating it holistically?
I think they don't totally get to the root cause. They will make sure your environment is safe. And then usually they go to sleep aids like Ambien or sleep medication.
Okay. And is that really just going to knock you out? Is that because I've heard horrible things about you?
Yeah. Ambien works amazing for some people for shift workers. I think that's really good. But long term, you're masking a symptom. If you don't sleep well, you have serious problems going on inside your body. So you need to figure out what the root cause is. But the big thing is neurotransmitters. What's your serotonin level? Serotonin takes away the anxiety and worry. So if you're anxious, nervous, tense, stress, OCD, phobias, then you have low serotonin. And 5-HTP is one, phosphatidylcholine, methionine, and just getting the methylation cycle working. When all those wheels of methylation are turning, you're making neurotransmitters. We can do genetics, but usually it's just a blood work and just the history. If you have those symptoms, you have low serotonin. And of course, as you know, muscle testing.
Yeah.
But then dopamine, motivation, drive, ambition, that should be high during the morning. And then at night, that it should be down. And there's many different supplements that help make dopamine. GABA, the calming neurotransmitters.
Okay.
And then glutamate. Glutamate is the excitatory one, like MSGs. When you eat Chinese food, your brain's activated.
Yeah.
Oxaloacetate is amazing at just breaking down the glutamate. So those more, and then lithium is calming to the body. We use lithium a lot to just calm the nervous system. As you already mentioned, magnesium is a very calming mineral. And there's many other things that we can use to just calm the nervous system.
And so I think that's the other thing I wanted to touch on really quick is I think people talk about melatonin. Is there a danger there? Like, can you have so much that it's not?
That's the $1 million question. If you've done everything right, the benefit of the melatonin, I feel, outweighs the risk. With me, there's times I need it, sometimes I don't. I've never been dependent upon it, and I've had to use 20 milligrams, for months at a time, and then I don't use it. So as long as you're using common sense, I think the benefit outweigh the risk. As you know, melatonin is one of the most powerful antioxidants in the world. So some doctors feel if you're over 40, you're not taking it, shame on you, because for the money, there's no better antioxidants than melatonin.
Anything else we'd like to touch on?
Yeah, just be in balance with the world. Just your mind should be at peace. And if you're not at peace, you just need to figure out a way.
Yeah.
And usually it's the endless pursuit of material possessions, which is in the end, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Your relationships with your friends, your family, God. I mean, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And when you're in touch with your spiritual being, then materialism just goes away.
Yeah.
And you realize your needs are so much less.
Yeah.
The less needs, the less worry.
Yeah. And I think the routine part, I think, is huge for people. I think people just kind of, especially when you wake up and the first thing you do is look at your phone. I think just following the flow of the day and getting that, the sun up and the sun down, I think that's I think if people can get that down, I'm sure that would help a lot of people. So you guys, I know that was a lot of information. Make sure if you are having trouble sleeping to make sure to come schedule an appointment, see us, and you will learn all about these sleep supplements and what's best for you.
Thank you for listening to the Optimal Wellness Podcast. Subscribe now to get monthly episodes to help you achieve your wellness goals. And if you'd like to learn how we can help, schedule an appointment at Health and Wellness of Carmel today. Just go to HWOFC.com or call 317-663-7123.